Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Colley, the Sports Information Director here at Shawnee State University, and we're proud to present you the second episode of our Shawnee State University Sports Show here at Shawnee State Athletics. We hope you enjoy these highlights within a 20-minute span. We jump right into the action as Shawnee State played Indiana Kokomo in women's and men's doubleheader action in River State's conference competition. The Shawnee State women were down 5-2 to begin the game, but Shoot It Like Maya steps up with two huge threes as Amaya Latham drops in back-to-back trays, beginning an 11-1 run that put Shawnee State up 13-6 after the opening quarter of play. Then Lexi Deaver here on this filthy fake here out as she fakes out the defender, goes up and scores the bucket. That ends up putting Shawnee State up by a comfortable 10-point margin. SSU only expanded on that to the halftime break, leads 30-14 at the half. In the third quarter, it's Gloucester time. Yana Gloucester scores off of a putback of an Amaya Latham miss. And then sister, it isn't the Maris from Detroit, but it's the Gloucesters from Flint, as Cheyenne finds Sienna for an inside bucket. And then to end the third quarter, Lexi Deaver scores two more times, one on a floater, another on a jumper, as Shawnee State takes a 46-31 lead after the third quarter of play. They cruise home from there and end up winning by a comfortable 67-44 margin. An impressive effort that featured a 19-point, 17-rebound performance from Gloucester, while Deaver added in 13 points and Latham 10. Now we head to the men's game, and right off the bat, Chase Harris drives the lane, finds E.J. Hubbard for a no-look three. He begins a 9-0 run that puts Shawnee State up 9-2. And then after that, let's look at the long-range bombing. Shawnee State had 4 three-pointers in the first half, led by Trey Beard and John Dawson, who knocked down back-to-back trays for the Bears. Shawnee State goes up by a 21-16 count, ends up holding between a 5 to 10-point lead, and heads up a 38-29 halftime leading effort. In the second half, boy, just sit back and watch the Chase Harris show, because he puts on one here in the second half. He starts out knocking down 2 straight threes from the right wing, and then he goes and on a double team by himself and Tyreek Johnson. Harris rips the IU Kokomo ball handler, goes up for the one-handed punch as Shawnee State again continues to control matters. And then to cap it off, after swinging it around to John Dawson, Dawson finds Keith Germain, who adds in his own one-handed punch with authority. Shawnee State ends up cruising home to an impressive 75-58 victory over Indiana Kokomo. Harris ends up leading the all scorers. He ends up having 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. Tyreek Johnson himself had an excellent effort, 19 points and 10 rebounds for the junior out of Woodstock, Georgia. Now we go into the women's basketball highlights against West Virginia Tech. First, we start off with a short jumper here by Lexi Deaver. Deaver's jumper is part of a 6-0 run to start the game for the Bears. However, West Virginia Tech ends up taking a 15-13 advantage after the opening quarter of play. Emily Maynard scores 5 consecutive points for Shawnee State to begin the second quarter, helping knot the score at 18 apiece before West Virginia Tech takes a brief 21-18 advantage. Sienna Gregory's layup, however, with 5:26 to go in the opening half, allows Shawnee State to close the first half on a 15-4 run, giving Shawnee State a 33-25 advantage at the halftime break. In the second half, Sienna Gloucester goes to work again. Her layup off of an Amaya Latham assist gives Shawnee State a double-digit lead, and SSU gets on a big run as the Bears score the first 8 points of the second half. Tiara Johnson adds in a triple from the outside on a kick-out pass by Cheyenne Gloucester, and Maylin Howe in a great set of low-post moves scores to end the third quarter, with the Bears taking a 21-point lead before West Virginia Tech answers at the buzzer on the other end to cut it to 19, 55-36 after the third quarter of action. That bucket would prove to be no matter as Shawnee State would cruise home to a 64-50 victory. And again, Lexi Deaver and Sienna Gloucester were big all game long. Deaver ended up leading the team in scoring and matching her career high with 18 points in the contest, while Gloucester posted 16 rebounds, 14 points, and 3 steals, while Gregory added in 10 points, scoring a perfect 8 of 8 from the free throw line. The Shawnee State men followed up their women's winning effort with a great effort of their own. Tyreek Johnson immediately starts off the game hot. He scores 6 of Shawnee State's first 10 points and then really plays a role facilitator very well, especially on this play here where he finds Trey Beard out wide open for 3. And then Johnson ends up canning a couple of threes of his own to cap off a great first half individually. Ended up finishing with a team-high 20 points in the contest and added in 7 assists and 5 rebounds for the game, in addition to 2 steals. Later on in the first half, John Dawson ends up getting the ball twice out on the top side, and he shows off the scoring ability that's run in his family. Has a family member, Marquise Dawson, that played with O.J. Mayo, a former blue-chip prospect who played in the NBA, and Dawson shows off that ability that's run in the family as he hits a 3 to end the half and give Shawnee State a 5-point lead, 39-34, heading into the locker room. In the second half, West Virginia Tech, never out of it, keeps the Bears on their toes, but Trey Beard with this beautiful drop-off pass to Keith Germain, who's just a straight pogo stick. He finishes that with ease, keeps the Bears in front. Then on rotation, the ball ends up back out to Beard, and after a few more kickouts, Beard ends up back with it. The ball gets tipped, but ends up in Beard's hands. He throws it up, and it goes in from deep. Bears go up 69-62 at this point. Again, West Virginia Tech stays right in it, as good teams do. But Keith Germain just too much inside. Nice finish underneath the basket from a contorted angle. Throws it down with 2 hands. And the Bears, even though their lead gets cut to 2 by the Golden Bears, hang on for an 80-76 victory over West Virginia Tech, who was receiving votes in the NAIA men's basketball poll. Johnson, as mentioned, led the Bears in scoring with 20. Keith Germain finished with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. Trey Beard added 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting for three-point range, while Chase Harris added in another strong performance with 18 points, 8 assists, and 4 steals. For the season, both programs continue to show the competitiveness that has long been known for in SSU basketball history. Shawnee State's women sit with a 15-9 overall record in overall play and the 7-6 conference mark in River State's action. They take on Point Park at 1 p.m. Saturday. Just barely lost to number 18 Rio Grande by 2 points after leading most of the way. They've won 5 of their last 7. The men, meanwhile, are 17-6 overall and tied with Point Park atop the RSC East Division at 11-2 overall in conference play. The men have won 13 of their last 15 games, heading into a big showdown with the Pioneers. That immediately follows the women's game at 3 p.m. or 20 minutes after the women's game finalizes on Saturday. And you'll look and see, we've got Ohio Christian the following Saturday at home, then a trip back to West Virginia Tech Tuesday the 20th, and then the big one, Rio Grande, a big doubleheader there at home. That's a big way to cap off your regular season for sure. Now on to Shawnee State men's and women's tennis. Just so happy to go out and cover a practice but for both the men and the women, and appreciate first-year head coach Jacob Freeland, a Shawnee State alum who's played in the program, for having me out as well as his players. Even got to hit a couple volleys and serves myself, so didn't look too good doing it, but was happy to participate and get in the effort. But beyond the highlights that you're going to see here, as you see some of the talent that's going to be hitting the courts this fall, Shawnee State opens up its season scheduled to this coming Tuesday against Indiana Wesleyan. Both the men and women will play beginning at 1 p.m. and looking forward to hosting an Indiana Wesleyan program that's nationally ranked in both the ITA, NAIA tennis rankings, as well as the NAIA preseason coaches poll. Indiana Wesleyan is very, very stout in many, many different programs, so it will be a great test for the Bears to open up the season. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Lacey Urban and Adam Stanley, 2 very well-spoken members, both with very strong academic standing, and two of our brightest here inside the Shawnee State Athletics banner. So without further ado, we'll let Lacey and Adam tell you about their experiences within Shawnee State.
For me personally, it's just been a lot of friendships we've created, and it's just really nice to take what we've like develop through high school into college with our skills.
Yeah, I would say for me, just the people you meet and automatically coming onto campus and already having like a community of people that you're just like cool with and you're teammates with and you're doing practice, traveling, in the den, in class together. It creates like a bond, and it's helpful when you're moving to a new place like I did from Dayton to here. And piggyback off what Lacey said, just to continue your skill growth from high school to here. And it's a completely different ball game with the other team's skill levels, so you have to increase the same way. And that's the goal for everybody. So, I would say it's been unique for me because I've never really had a coach in any sport I played growing up that was so close in age to me. And it's like my high school tennis coach was one of our teachers, like in his 40s. Like, it's just very different. And to me, it's refreshing because he's not only a coach, but he's a friend of mine. And we could just talk about life and other things because we're the same maturity level almost. And when it comes to the tennis court, he offers a perspective of, because he's fresh, because he just got done playing for Shawnee, and he's added, I would say, another level to my game. And it's interesting to have somebody else come in that's never coach me, because it's given me a lot more like things that I need to work on and advice to do that.
And with me being players with him, like teammates with him so long, it's more personable, like the coaching. And I think he's transitioned well from player to coach.
Yeah, for sure. And he comes and sits in the den with us. He's not like above, because he's our age, and he was teammates with Lacey and a lot of the senior guys on the team, and so it's been really cool because I just got here in the fall, so just seeing that, but also being his friend is pretty cool.
Personally, we went to Nashville 2 years ago for a conference. We played mini conference matches, and that was a lot of fun. We got to go to Nashville, so.
Yeah. That does sound fun. But for me, I would say late September against Capital, when I beat this kid who won the state championship in Indiana, and I beat him 6-4, 6-4 in singles. And me and my best bro, Aiden Pine, who's also my roommate and my doubles partner, and we beat him and his partner 6-4. So I played the same guy in singles and doubles, and we won both times. And it was out the courts out there, so it was at home. And it was just a really fun day.
It was good energy.
Yeah, and we went to a volleyball game for Shawnee after that, so it was just a really good night.
Yeah, I think it's a big accomplishment for me personally, being able to balance both nursing and tennis. And nursing is definitely super difficult, but it's such a rewarding field, so I just love that I've been able to manage both of them.
Yeah, some people wouldn't be able to manage that. Like, that sports at a high level, nursing is a difficult major at a high level, so it's really, and this is your last semester of your senior year, so that's pretty awesome. It means a lot. It's kind of a feather in my cap that I can do both, like Lacey was saying, to do all the essays and do all the reading we have to do and stuff like that, and still be able to go out there and do a sport and compete well in the classroom and compete on the tennis court. It's awesome, and I really like some of the people that I've met in those classes, so it's been kind of like tennis in the way of like my major is helpful for my future goals too. And it kind of shows me that whatever life throws at me, I can do it.
Yeah, that has been awesome. I mean, I never thought like we both end up together in college playing, let alone playing doubles together. So, yeah. I mean, we fight a lot, but
they do.
When we need to like put it together and win, like, we can do that, and it's just been so awesome. Especially like for my parents to be able to watch and stuff, that it just means a lot.
It's like a dream.
Yeah,
honestly,
it means a lot.
You'll remember that for the rest of your guys' life, and your parents and your older sister. That's pretty cool.
Next, we highlight men's and women's bowling. I had a blast growing up and watching both teams compete at the Hammer Saints Classic in Newport, Kentucky. Such a fun time. You watch these guys and girls bowl, it just gives you so much energy. I mean, you see the passion, the fire, the whole nine with this group. Chloe Long, Skylar Lane, and Tyler Roberts are the three seniors that represent the bowling program, and they've been excellent leaders. Chloe Long is the first ever NAIA All-American, both men's and women's side, either one in school history. She was a part of the very first NAIA All-American list, so that's something special in and of itself. Skylar Lane has a unique story. She had been in the hospital, gets out of the hospital, comes back in this Hammer Sands Classic and earns all tournament team honors, and is lifelong just kind of a mainstay up at that top line on the women's side. And then Tyler Roberts is a guy that's lauded for his leadership. He's a multi-sport athlete. He also plays men's golf in addition to men's bowling. All three have been terrific leaders, and it really shows with the enthusiasm that the bowlers have. I was just very fortunate to be a part of that. We also honored them during halftime of the men's basketball game against West Virginia Tech, and just enjoyed having being around them. Their energy is contagious, and it's just needed in all walks of life, whatever you do. So had a great time spending time with them a couple Sundays back at the Hammer Saints Classic. Both teams did very well. Especially the JV bowling team finished runner-up to Emmanuel College of Georgia, which is basically like playing a second Emmanuel College varsity squad. They're very deep, 1 through 5. So they pretty much have a roster that can compete with anybody. And that says a lot just about the stability that Brian Sturgill and Janie Sturgill have built within the bowling program. So very happy to feature them here in this week's edition. Shawnee State baseball program played Georgetown last weekend in Florence, Kentucky at Thomas More Stadium. Shawnee State, while they lost all 3 of their games, only were outscored in those 3 games by a scant 17-10 margin. The Bears also, after losing the first game 10-5, lost the next 2 contests by scores of 1-0 and 6-5, unfortunately in walk-off fashion. But the Bears only committed 2 errors through 3 games and had the bases loaded 3 separate times and failed to score runs in those situations. So, again, much improvement, especially when you compare it from last year, where the Bears were outscored by Middle Georgia State in the first 4 games of the season by a 36-5 count. So Coach Ehlers already has his guys well prepared. With him in this upcoming video here are senior pitcher Jacoby Reese and junior outfielder Kyle Elslick. Both will play a major role in the progression of this team with their leadership and their skill set.
So being a part of this program means really the world to me. I can't thank Coach Ehlers enough for letting me or giving me the opportunity to be a part of the team, and it's just an honor to be around all these guys and to be with them every day and put in work and try and work ourselves towards conference championship this year in the River States.
Well, being a part of this team, and like you said, I'm going to thank Coach Ehlers for giving me another opportunity to finish up my baseball career here at a really fine program that's really trying to turn itself around.
For that, with our non-conference schedule here in the beginning, we played a really good Georgetown team who has historically been, at the top end of the Mid-South Conference.
Right.
We're playing a Madonna team that's coming off of, an opening round bid last year and returning, some really solid pieces there. And then next week, we jump right in 2 feet, headed down to Williamsburg, Kentucky, and taking on a very well-coached team in Cumberland, who are sitting right now, I think number 8 in the country, coming off the World Series bid. So, a little bit of a balance with a whole lot of challenge there as we move forward into the new conference.
Nothing less than a conference championship, in my opinion. I think that's the goal for everybody on the team. It's been the goal since day one when Coach Ehlers first talked to us and introduced himself, is to win the River States, and I think we have a really good shot at making some noise this year in a new conference.
It's definitely exciting being a part of a new conference, but it's only one way to really introduce ourselves, and that's to come out on top.
All right. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode, but before signing off, here is a look at our upcoming schedule. Obviously, everything in full swing right now. Baseball, women's basketball, men's and women's indoor track, and men's and women's bowling all in action. Saturday, bowling on Sunday as well. You got men's and women's tennis scheduled to host their first home event, as mentioned earlier in the video, Tuesday. And then next Saturday, we've got championships, big in-state basketball matchup. We got our men's and women's tennis team with a big in-state matchup, and then a matchup against a former Mid-South Conference opponent. It's going down next weekend, and Tuesday when softball hosts its season opener. Hear about those all those events and much more on the next episode, which will be 2 weeks from now. Signing off, Kevin Colley, SID, Shawnee State University. Go Bears!